phone need to charge?
Yeah, probably. Are we live? We're live. All right. Okay. So we got we got an hour until my friend Gerald comes by. And he's gonna buy Giovanni, whatever. I call him Gerald. No, I got my keys here. Okay. Gotta make sure we got good battery in the hole. Devin? How would I call that? I don't know. Yeah. So this will be kind of a short one, but I think it's important so you guys can better understand me.
What is your topic?
Why I forgive Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh.
Very popular, right? Yeah. I mean, do you guys remember the story in Moses when the Israelites are getting bit by snakes all the time? We call that the Me Too movement. No, I'm kidding. What he does is he says, take a snake of rods and stick it on his staff so that everyone can see. And then after looking at it, they won't get bit anymore. Simply put, if I was a psychologist, I'd say it's a form of exposure therapy. It's an encounter with evil. That's what it is. And if I put Epstein and torture him till he eats himself on a staff in front of all you people so you guys can learn a lesson, so that we can learn a lesson together with his suffering at the forefront, then yay, maybe he's part of my plan. You know, when people are so concerned about sex and gender, this Epstein stuff, language, all the sorts of problems that are on the tips of people's tongues these days, they're all very, very, very deeply connected. The issue of God, interpreting the Bible and the problem of gender are actually the same problem in some sense, because you need to be in reality to see the patterns that they're talking about. So if you don't understand what a man and a woman is in a fundamental relational sense, in the fundamental listening, implantation, gestation, secrets, guidance, if you don't understand these things and how those things function on the most fundamental level, then you can't talk about anything in the Bible. Not saying you can't talk about it, but it's just, it won't make any sense, because you'll be saying things like God is bad and that Christ is evil. And if those things are true, then no language makes any sense, because there's no coherence. Okay, if good is bad, the source of identity is not. Then we go into flood territory. Now, the flood is never actually going to fully happen again. There are reasons for that, but yay. So when you're talking about this fundamental level that allows reality to exist, which is that you are knowing your own self through exploring it. Sorry, am I talking? What kind of talking? Should I bring you into the conversation more?
No, you're good. I'm just listening in.
Okay.
I'm just trying to.
You're trying to follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're just as you engage with the romance of a loved one, like your girlfriend or something like that, like a dance, she tells you, she reflects on you. She's like, you're kind of an asshole. You actually weren't that good of a person here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And through yourself, you can find love. You can become your fullest person with your family, which is kind of as you kind of expand out into the world, you become more differentiated. You branch out more, become more physically instantiated. You actually gain your identity. And that happens through knowing the other, which is the same as knowing yourself. Women are the other, basically. Yeah, so is the external world. Matter is the other. You learn about yourself the same way you learn about yourself by looking at your body and exploring your body.
Could you say that people lose themselves by meeting someone else?
People lose themselves by meeting someone else.
You
That
kind
could
of
happen. Yeah.
lose who you are and your identity by joining a union. But I don't think you could fully know another person, whether it's man or woman, or because there's other couples out here other than just men and women. There's men and men.
Oh yes, there's men and men. Yeah, yeah.
And women and women.
Well, that's part of that secret revelation. That's a great thing to bring up. Yeah. So he just mentioned that well, if that's to say that there's secrets here,
I mean,
that's to say those things that are probably hard to understand. So for instance, matter in general is feminine, and consciousness is masculine. So on a fundamental level, you have a weird thing where it's both men and women with our masculine consciousness talking to each other and our feminine bodies listening to each other. You know what I mean? And then, which already doesn't make sense on some strange practical paradoxical level.
Yeah.
And yet, that's why we have a physical manifestation of gay people, because it's oh yeah, the actual property is true. There's a weird symmetry between couplings, and so that happens in the world because it does happen,
Mm-hmm.
So it's a completely normal thing. Now, that being said, for most people, I just think that, as far as the branching thing, for most people, the way that will end up turning out is that, they're going to have a family and kids, I think. A lot of them.
Yeah.
I don't think that's bad advice. I think that's a great thing to do. Because actually, kids, fruit aplenty. And you want to be ready and have enough for the drought, So, yeah, those Mormons have a lot of kids. They know what they're doing. Back to the Mormons. Back to the Mormons. Yeah. So, yeah. What do you think about the Epstein take? Sounds like a hot take. To me, sorry, I have more to say about it. Because also, what I'm demonstrating to you guys is that I have free will. Partly, you know what I mean? It's no, what happens in the world happens as I say it first. And I'm telling you right here first, Epstein is forgiven. And yea, if I were to bring him into heaven because I think he's spent time in hell, you guys, that's my choice. And so I say that he's a fucking creepy idiot who did awful things.
Yeah.
But he's a son of God, and he tried to love, and he loved him properly. And so I used him, and I hardened his heart and made him worse and more ill to keep you guys healthy. So I will let him rest and heal. Okay? And that's what I'm going to do. So
I just say that we all have bad and evil.
Yeah.
And that it's hard to base. I think for me, I can't really look at Epstein and be judgmental when I should be focusing on myself and growing.
Exactly.
Self-growth. I'm no one to judge, but I mean,
yeah.
his evils
Self-growth,
are pretty,
yeah.
They're pretty evil,
I understand, yeah. It's wrong love. But I think in all love, and this is from the Catholic Church, I learned this from Bishop Barrett, is in that vigorous exploration is a search for love, for God's love. It's just in a very, very base sense. When I was a kid, honestly, the idea of a serial killer, I actually would have rather wasn't more of it. It made complete sense to me. Because I have a kind of a scientific mind. It's why would it, taking apart something like that? I was more interested in people than I was computers. Computers are kind of boring in a way, And so that sort of incorrect knowing of let's just pull off the secrets, and so I can know what a human is, But it doesn't actually get you what you want. You get further and further away from the human as you try and know it in that backwards, bottom up sort of way, tearing at the flesh and forcing and raping angels, something like that, raping God's angels, raping earth, raping something that's pure. There are physical substantiations of things that are pure, things that are pure hold a lot of secrets. You know what I mean? It's like when you find an ice, you know what I mean, chunk it. It's you can see clearly your own self and reality, and people want to have the secrets of reality. So he's trying to peer into a poor 14-year-old girl's coochie, just as he's trying to fucking peer into the secrets of the heart of the Big Bang.
So you don't think, okay, that maybe he got hit in the head, or there might be something off internally, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Off about Jeffrey Epstein? No, he made his decisions.
okay.
He made his
You don't think
decisions.
he grew up with any kind of weirdness going on, which later showed up?
Sure, he grew up
Manifested
with a
what
lot of weirdness. But you have the buck has to stop somewhere.
Yeah.
There was a snake in the garden at the beginning. And by the way, Adam was saved. Adam and Eve are both saved. The first sin that caused all of it. So, if you think that I don't forgive Jeffrey Epstein, maybe read I don't know, dude. Whatever. I don't know, being an asshole. Being an asshole. I don't know, dude.
I mean, would you say you forgive yourself of your sins?
I actually don't think I've made any sins, to be honest, if I'm actually being honest. I know that sounds really arrogant to say, but I think that's actually just, I don't, but to truly understand that you are forgiven, you are washed of your sins, you didn't sin. And that's the beauty of God. If other people actually understand that, they'll say the same, and they'll occupy heaven, and that's just about accepting God's love, and so that's actually about letting go and letting God come in, so, and that's why I emphasize, hey, but pot's not a bad avenue for that to start with,
I mean, like, cigarettes aren't good for you, but
cigarettes are good either. No, I know you don't smoke pot. Not everyone has to smoke pot.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying, but like cigarettes are not good for you, and you choose to indulge in them, right? Like, isn't that like a sin against your body, like to your health? And
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. See, the thing is that cigarettes are actually like I will say that what kills people more than the cigarette is actually the stress and the shame about it. And honestly, to be honest, we're so fucked up about relationships. There's actually not really much wrong with like a 25-year-old being with like a 14-year-old, if I'm being honest.
you really believe that?
What's the problem is when they use them and abuse them.
But I mean, like, it's almost like grooming. A 14-year-old doesn't know any better, and a 25-year-old has some kind of. And even then, at 25, I don't think they are fully developed mentally. Like, there's so much more experience in life that they.
Yeah, 25, the men, like, women mature faster than men, for one.
So
like, the average age gap is like 4 years, so I'm not even saying something necessarily like that radical. I'm just saying that, like, where that comes in is the sort of the raping and abuse and the violation and the force. You know what I mean?
I just feel like.
But if if this is what do you think that's not, we're not in that time anymore?
I mean, I think it's just a little like predatory, like to.
Yeah.
To choose, like, if a guy chose a 14-year-old, like, where's the 14 and on, like, that's what they're attracted to. It's kind of.
No, I mean, for me, dude, I like a sophisticated woman because I'm actually I talk a lot. Yeah, and it actually makes me feel weird when I'm talking to a baby. I mean, honestly, when I'm talking to most people, I'm like, I feel like I'm talking to a kid.
But I mean, like,
but like, I'm also seeing myself as a kid, so I'm not saying that in demeaning sense. You know what I mean? I just recognize that. But like, I people should recognize that they are kids.
Yeah, like a 25-year-old, you know what I mean? Like, a 14-year-old's not developed, like, physically or mentally. Like, nothing is developed about them.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
It's a child. It's still a child. It's not even a teen. Like, to me, that's not even like a teen. It's like undeveloped.
So, like, I think if we were in nature and like we didn't have calendars and stuff, we would be paying attention to natural cues about when a person is mature. It'd be less about a person's age, and you just talk to the person and be like, oh. And so people would actually like take it situationally, be like, wait, what? Why are you with that girl? You know what I mean? Even if the girl was like the same age, you know what I mean? They'd be like, wait, why are you with that like girl who's like retarded, even though you guys are the same age? You know what I mean? It's like that can happen in all sorts of ways. It's not, So I think I think you're raising a poor issue, a true issue, but I think it's kind of boils down to the same thing that we're freaking out about, like what time, like what time you're at work. I mean, like, consciously, like, I think we're a little more advanced than people back then, and we can look at that situation like, okay, a 14-year-old can't make decisions that a 25-year-old would make. Like, it's a 14-year-old. They're like, they think of the world in so many, like, in little ways. They're not ready for that kind of thing. Yeah. As we're a 25-year-old, again, they're still young, less experience. And it's also probably a consequence of our developmental changes. So, like, a long time ago when we were younger, people went through a lot of stuff when they were kids. I just met a 14-year-old, or not 14. She was 18, but when she was 13 or 14, she did like 7 grams or something of psilocybin, or like 5 grams or something like very, very large, and went like cross country with this guy, and like way too young for her.
Mm-hmm.
But now, as an 18-year-old, I speak to her, and she's as mature as a lot of 35-year-olds that I mean. Even though she's 18, and it's sort of it's all behind the eyes. You talk to her, she has a calmness, and I'm like, oh wow, it's like these things are all, they're all real and complicated. And like I said, she got that way because she was wrongly treated. So, but in these days in our society, I meet people who are like 30-year-old babies. So I can understand the part of it, but you gotta understand, like time is kind of relative. And so the amount of change those people were experiencing back then, and frankly, maybe that's what I'm kind of thinking, is that there's there's lots of different rates that people age, and so Now speaking what Epstein, it's breaking those girls' hearts. Basically, it's breaking those girls' hearts.
It seems like sex.
You think?
It seems like sexual slavery, in my personal opinion. Like,
prostitution?
Yeah.
I think it's prostitution?
Yeah, I mean, like,
is prostitution okay?
No,
is prostitution okay?
I wouldn't say it is, in my personal opinion. I think it's kind of.
There's some things you should.
I would say if
we don't.
A 21-year-old
adults to do. For sure.
21-year-old.
So that's a line.
So, but a 14-year-old kid, that's grooming.
So what we are saying here, we're kind of agreeing on this, is that if Epstein was just doing 21-year-old prostitutes amongst rich people, that would actually be fine. And so a lot of those people who are involved in that might be kind of absolved. And honestly, maybe even those rich people that are like, well, of course the fucking weird pimp has weird allegations against him, but this is where we get our prostitutes from. This weirdo. This not this weirdo. I mean, this guy who's like physics, and then they had some all society reflected on it, and we have so much confusion about the relationships between men and women these days. I think that's kind of being this is the heart of the conversation. This is the crux. This is the point of it. This heart of
a 14-year-old is like, oof, that's grooming, man, and they don't know what they're getting into. Like, 14-year-old now is not the same as 14-year-old from like.
Dude, can I be honest with you? Can I be honest with you?
Yeah. So
like I'm fucking. I don't even know how long this is, but when I'm 18 years old and I fucking have like insane people all the time like trying to like shame me and give me opinions and stuff, and I'm like, that's just kind of the world. I grow from it. I learn from it. This is not all good that it happened to me. It's not all right that it happened to me, but I keep my faith in God, and at the end of it, it all works out for the best, And so that's all. That's I can just keep loving. But sorry, I forgot how that was a response.
Were you saying from their point of view, from a girl that went through something like that? I feel like they would be traumatized. It's like
It depends. A lot of girls are actually very mature. We pretend like girls are way more babyish than I think they are, but like women are women, bro. Women actually low key run society in a lot of ways. Like when you actually go home, who does the president like really listen to? Who's the number one advisor in his ear? Who could kill the president? Like, really?
I mean,
I
think
people don't realize this thing. Who could strip him of his most beloved organ?
I think
that's insane that we let that happen every day.
I don't know. Women.
We let some strange jaws around the president's penis every night.
Some strange jaws. I think I don't know. Women-wise, I think they get abused on a daily. And they go through a lot of shit that they don't.
So do men.
They suppress. Yeah, I think men do too, but I think women, it's more frequent and more like it happens so often that it's almost normal. Like we, as men, we see a fine woman walk by and we're gonna look at her and be like, oh, we'll talk our shit, And
yeah, that's probably that's improper for men too.
Yeah, to be honest. It happens all the time.
Yeah,
it's like a normal thing, and half the time these girls probably hear that shit go down.
Yeah,
and they have to like.
But they're competing for that attention too, because men can't hold their own fucking tongue, and so they also men are coaxing out the men's feminine side, or coaxing out the feminine side in women, and probably.
And sometimes maybe they don't want that, but they have to like swallow their pride, because they can't go about doing anything about it. But I don't know, man. Like, I think women have a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
And it's generational. Like, it just.
Yeah. No, it's not gonna be
It's
good. And that's why it's no one's fault. I'm not blaming anyone. I feel like I'm blaming people. I feel like I'm blaming men or women.
I'm just saying that women definitely have a lot of trauma that they go through, and that it's easy for us to talk as men from a side that we will never live. You know, we won't live that. We are not that. You know, we're men. So, like, with the 14-year-old, going back to that, it's just.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I couldn't imagine a 14-year-old getting coaxed by a pimp, you know, like.
Yeah.
And then saying that they'll be fine. It's I don't think they'll be fine necessarily. You know, I mean, I think they live with it. And it took a lot of women standing up for themselves to finally say
I'm saying
something.
I'm saying something worse. I'm saying that those who maintain their faith in God will be better. Always. That's just what happens. As
in a higher
Joseph.
power.
Joseph, as he continued to fall into lower levels of the prison, I bring up that story.
Mm-hmm.
In this story, Israel's kid, who actually really brought the crown to Israel. Israel's kind of the father in some sense. Basically, he had a dream that he was going to be something like the Son of Man, and his brothers, who were the other 12 stars in his dream, were like, "That's not cool," and so they pretended to slaughter him and throw him in a pit. Their father was not happy about it. Anyways, he was sold into slavery. He was a great slave master, protected the house well, but then the woman of the house basically wanted to sleep with him. He refused, so she made it look like he raped her, and then he got thrown into a lower dungeon and a lower slave, and then I believe something else happens again, maybe one more time. But then the king comes to him with a dream, and because he's had such held God's perspective throughout all of this darkness, that flame is so strong that it allows him to interpret the dream. Does that make sense? How does the flame get stronger by walking through darkness? How does that happen?
I mean,
he gets better at stoking the flame, holding the flame, you know, reading puzzles, mysteries. You can feel the story even if I haven't fully explained it.
I would say faith nowadays.
You can grab it. You can grab it.
Is a lot weaker than it used to be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and the Bible is, you know, translated a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
So not necessarily everyone will translate it the same.
Yeah.
Like, I think, you know, you have your fingerprint.
I will transform all of Earth into good. So everything that we're talking about will be good one day, even if it seems like a mystery.
I mean, it is a journey. So it's a venture. It's a journey. And it's hoping your morals stand, because sometimes, you know, a lot of stuff we go through tests those things. I mean, I feel like you're still young. You'll grow, experience more in life, and some things change with you and some things don't, you know?
Yeah.
It's like with Jay-Z, you know, back in the day, I used to love that guy.
You don't love Jay-Z anymore?
I don't hate him, but after a point, I couldn't listen to the music and the same. It was not the same. You know, you couldn't relate to the listeners. You know, like, we listen to it, it's like, oh, I don't know anything about rich shit. What the fuck? I don't want to hear about paintings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I wasn't a big Nas fan, but Nas never changed his formula. He always stayed the same, but it was just more authentic, if it makes sense. Like, it was more true to hip hop and something easily digestible and listenable. And what I was going to the point was with Jay-Z, it was like, back in the day, he was the hero. You know, everybody loved this guy. Like, he was a really great rapper. Like, and then now he's a villain. You know, we all, you know, stay along long enough, you will be the villain. You know, things change, times change, and if you're not necessarily with what's going on at the time, or, you know what I mean, like, you will be looked at as, it's like a witch hunt.
Yeah, but do you think is that them or is that him? You know what I mean?
I think it's a mix. You know what I mean? Because there's been pictures of him with, like, Foxy Brown when she was like 15, Aaliyah when she was 16,
whoa.
Beyonce when she was 16, you know, like, all these girls that were super young. And back then it was cool, you know, like, people question it, but I don't think necessarily, we don't even know the full story to this day about what's going on with them. So it's easy to talk from pictures.
Yeah.
But
it'll be easy to understand all this once I have some kids, to be honest, probably.
From kids?
It'd probably be easier for them to have kids. Maybe.
I
Do you
have
think?
no kids.
I feel like I do have kids. Like I feel like I've been a kid. I feel like I'm a kid.
I mean,
No,
with
am I
the
being
kid,
retarded?
I think like your perspective changes. You have a whole responsibility for someone that didn't ask to be brought into this world, you know?
Okay, well I feel like I have that then.
So
Sorry, I'm good.
then at that point, you know, like your whole responsibility is that person. You know, you do all for them. It's a whole. I don't have a kid, but like from what you see with people with kids, it's like a switch goes on. You know, and that child matters more than anything in the world.
Yeah.
They
No, I'm very protective of people, and frankly, when I see like someone, if I see like unwanted advances on guys, because I think I'm pretty good social, like a socially autistic person, so I can read situations pretty well. And oftentimes I see like when guys are kind of hitting on girls and they don't want it, and I'll kind of come in there. So I'm not saying like some sort of like free for all. I know that sort of thing's stressful or nothing like that.
Yeah.
I just think that we need to have more grace for folks because like people don't even know what a man and a woman is. So obviously there's going to be some sexual trip ups. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as people acting like men and women are both like symmetric, they are symmetric, but acting like that they are the same all the way down and their dynamics are the same all the way down. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know. I think we kind of acted like pretended like little girls are the same as men. I think men kind of propagated that in the culture so that they could have access to girls. I do believe that.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
Yeah. No, like I think that's like obviously clear. A bunch of like fucking autistic men who are saying there's no difference between boys or girls, and like to me, it's not a coincidence that the biggest group of girls that are like transitioning into this like whole thing, where it's kind of like weird, kind of psychical in a way, is young teenage girls. You know what I mean? That's also part of it. And so our whole culture is like designed from the ground up to kind of rape Mother Nature. And so, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like this.
And when you mean culture, what do we say? Like hip hop culture or culture?
Society,
like
society,
Western
state,
culture.
Western culture, white culture.
Okay.
Yeah. It's okay. I mean, that's the negative aspect of patriarchy.
I mean, wasn't Gandhi? I heard Gandhi had like young girls that he would put in the bed to keep them warm.
Gandhi, tested himself, so he basically had his cousin sleep in the same bed with him to prove that he wouldn't touch her. Basically, it's a form of like, I mean, that's something that Satan does. Basically, puts temptations in front of you. And if we want to call him a bad person for that now, it's like, first of all, like, get where Gandhi was living in, and like, who do you think you are? I don't know. It's Gandhi, dude. It's Gandhi. He's, with his level of experience, of his level of what he sees, from his throne up high, because he's that wise of a person. Like, he we don't even understand what level of test he was doing. You might just think that, like, oh, wow, he didn't grab his fucking cousin. It's like, no, you don't understand.
But I mean,
he was probably battling thoughts, you know what I mean, even, or something, or the thought of thoughts.
Yeah, but to put the girl through that is a little weird. And who's to say that he actually didn't do anything?
I mean, who's to say that story's made up, dude? I don't even fucking know. I don't even know why I remember that story.
And then I've heard he was racist as well.
They said Gandhi was racist?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can look that up.
There was a race war after Gandhi died. A religious war.
A caste?
Yeah. Sorry, I don't want to shit on Gandhi. I think Gandhi was a good guy.
He was a man.
Gandhi was a man. Gandhi was a man.
What was I going to say about Gandhi with this whole conversation?
You know who else is a man? Christ.
Yes. Yes, he was.
You know who else is a man?
Who? Huh?
I think it was
Jeffrey. You're going to say Jeffrey?
I said joking. Jeffrey Epstein is a man.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm no Epstein.
I hope not.
Nay, I'm Jesus Christ.
So what I was going to say with Gandhi and even Michael Jackson, like all these types, you don't think there should be a checks and balance for these individuals? Because it feels like a little power does go to people's head. I mean, it might not go to everyone's head, but I think with the level of freedom and power that they have, and money and access to everything they have, there definitely should be a checks and balance.
Well, the thing about the fame and stars like that, they come arise on kind of a wave that's on people's dreams in the first place. And so if they're not the idol that people hold, they're not no longer a star. And so, that's the kind of the route that they've taken in the first place. That they kind of do have to write that and accept that, like, hey, in Hollywood, shit's temporary. This isn't fucking a courthouse or stone law or some shit. I don't fucking know. This isn't the Supreme Court.
Like,
that conversation made me think of something really weird. Please, bring it up. I know, tell me, dude. I know that's probably a lot.
sorry.
Yeah, don't apologize. Don't apologize. First of all, you didn't even say anything weird, so you don't apologize.
I mean, still, I don't want to make the conversation weird.
Hey, it's a tough conversation, man. Sorry. Maybe.
No, it's all right.
I hate. Okay. Yeah.
You might. I don't want you to lose a viewer over that, but are they gonna say
we love you, Shorty?
Oh, Shorty?
Yeah, this is Shorty. Who's Shorty?
Where's Shorty from again?
I don't know where Shorty's from, actually.
Oh.
I don't think Shorty's told me. What time is it? 34? All right, we got like 30 more minutes. Yeah.
I think they're definitely.
Sorry, you were just saying something.
Oh, just about checks and balances, like.
Yeah, yes, but should they have some checks and balances? Yeah. So, like, yeah. Oh,
I can give you an example.
Yeah. You know what? I don't think it's mostly about intention and why people are doing stuff, or is it for the love of God? Like, I don't actually necessarily mind if, like, Jay-Z, like, sleeps with, like, some random beautiful bar girl in a random state, but, like, is he doing it just to, like, fuck her and be like, haha? But if he actually does it from a sense of love and it's actually a special moment, she'll actually hang up and be like, bro, like, Jay-Z snuck into my bed last night and fucked me. People be like, what? Be like, yeah, don't tell you what. Like, that's actually cool. So you can do that, Jay-Z. Wear a mask and go to a party and, like, show up and be like, you're the most beautiful hand I've ever seen, and actually love her. And be upfront and be like, by the way, I'm like Jay-Z. I got, like, big things to do. We can have this lovely night together. I mean, I don't know. The thing is, and this is actually an issue. Maybe this is wrong. Is actually, I think that most women actually do want an actual long-term relationship. And so the thing is that actually I think a lot of women are willing to say, like, yeah, we can sleep tonight. But really, they're hoping that they can just stay with me. Because the guy has so many options that if you say no, just won't give you the attention. He'll sleep with, another 30 girls who are willing to give it to. But that girl might be willing to sleep with Jay-Z, thinking that she can, put a ring around his finger. And that's why it's important that Jay-Z should be married while he does this. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Sorry, they say, so if Christ was fully human, does that mean he had all the same temptations other dudes have? Yeah, but, like, not very strong. Like, it's, I mean, like, when I look at something like a beautiful girl, I just recognize that she's beautiful. I don't need to, like, feel any shame about that. There's nothing wrong about my love. You know what I mean? There's nothing but me being like, oh my gosh,
imagine her perfectly naked as Christ.
I'm sure sometime. Like, I'll just say yes for the argument.
Okay.
Let's just say yes for the argument. But it's like, why does it matter? God made people beautiful. I'm not even looking at them naked. I'm just saying that.
Jesus, have ever?
I look at everyone naked. Like, I look in people. Like, people aren't really usually pretty transparent. I'm not saying I can, like, get your dick size by your temperament, but like,
can you say that you had temptation to want to bash somebody in the face?
I don't really have temptations to bash people in the face. I don't have temptations to rape people.
I mean, no, not. I don't think rape, but, like, just basic.
Like, I don't have sinful thoughts. No.
So sex is not a simple thought in your opinion?
Love isn't.
Like, what's the differentiation between love and lust? Because if you look at a beautiful woman and you see her naked, isn't that lusting? What's the difference between love and lust?
The difference between love and lust, I mean, it's about.
So you look at every woman and do you see them and love? There's no lust there.
I think I might have to think about this harder, but I think everyone I've ever seen is beautiful.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, physically. I think women are just beautiful physically. I think the most beautiful thing on earth is women, and so that's why this whole issue about like people like searching for God and then raping girls on their path is it's that beast of numbers running through. You know what I mean? Writing the horror while they're both in their own.
So for like me, like,
and he kills her. That happens in the beast of numbers kills.
So I could see a lot of beautiful women, right? I would say like my ex to me was the most beautiful woman, like the most perfection to me and all around.
Amen.
Like I saw her not just physically beautiful, but mentally in every possible way. But and it's like I don't know, like I don't know where I was going with this, but what I meant to say is just like I can see a girl out here and see that she has a nice ass or whatever, and still be like, oh, she's kind of cute. But I don't. That's lusting right there, right? Like that's lusting. But where I see it as my girl or my ex, I thought that was love. You know what I mean?
You're saying you're actually partnered with her. Like one is coveting your neighbor's property.
I'd never.
The thing is, dude. Like the thing is, I'm not trying to take anything. I'm letting go. I'm not being like, I need to have this for some plan. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like scheming to like have her. You know what I mean? I'm not coveting. I'm just admiring, and that's different. There's a coveting. There's like an idolizing or like a but it's just like, wow, no, that girl is beautiful. I look at her and I say, you are beautiful. I think that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can find some kind of beauty in everybody if you really look.
Yeah. Women, in some sense, are a physical manifestation of the church on earth. Like so is that the church is supposed to be like a physical manifestation of God's beauty. And as I said, like women are the most beautiful thing on earth by far. And so I think to recognize that women are beautiful and to see that in them, I think actually is not a bad thing. You know, that plays into a lot of this whole like people's lack of self-worth and their lack of seeing God in themselves plays into a lot of their
so you think that
sense of body dysmorphia and the trans stuff and being like, well, I'd rather just be a boy than participate in the feminine beauty game. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So you think
you're beautiful. Even the girls who jump out at it who are lesbians or whatever, which it's like, nah, you're still cute. Sorry, lesbians, you're all still beautiful and cute.
So you're saying that there's a possibility of people seeing less of God in them, like that, like a self-esteem kind of thing, or like
people getting away from themselves. How does that happen? It has to do with Satan for sure. It has to do with Satan for the people who don't see God themselves. Something to do with the scales falling from the rise and then falling again when Christ returns. So saying is like when I return. I need to start saying that. This is a slow process. I'm new, and it's like, well, it's gotten to the point where now I'm actually getting more into it. I used to get comfortable saying like when I return, and now I'm getting comfortable saying Christ returns. So I need to just start saying I'm returning again. It's the ebbs and flows. So fitting into this hot water, I'm like, oh, all right.
As you see yourself as Christ, you see yourself living a life as a human.
Yes.
Like a full long-term life?
Yeah.
Or...
Oh, this person has a question. And this person actually... Wait, what? I don't know if I can... Yeah. Because I get hard. I can't even help it. Oh, this person gets hard and can't help it. Oh, okay. I get you. So, I don't know if I can see you. So, dude, that's okay. Like, you have a second brain. Like, okay, so here's something to understand. Like, have you ever heard people talk about this person is mentioning that he gets boners sometimes without expecting it?
Oh.
So
is it a young person?
I don't know.
I mean, that's testosterone, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's testosterone, but like more I think more importantly it's people have two brains, you have two heads. No, but you know what I mean. So like, and that does get people into trouble. That's kind of what we're talking about. You know what I mean? People can make kind of like schemes from the unconscious up. You know what I mean? From your like Priapus, it's a Greek god. You can look up pictures of. He's pretty funny looking. But who's led like a unicorn from the like an animal. You know what I mean? Huh?
Keep the window.
Yeah. Point first. Your window?
Yeah, I'm getting a little chilly.
Okay. I was gonna smoke more cigarette.
Oh.
Reach on the car quick. Get some heat on.
That's up to you.
Yeah, we'll do that.
And your body will be here in 15, 30 13?
Yeah.
Is this? Ask them how old they are. Like maybe
No,
it sounds like a person that's young.
I mean, you don't need to. I mean, if you want, I mean, he already told me he has boners or whatever. I'm not sure how young they are. I mean, it doesn't even matter who you are. It's just an interesting question. You know what I mean? And so, something I learned a lot about. I'm interested. I was interested in learning a lot about is that your gut even actually does a lot of cognition. You're only conscious of a very small bit, and a lot of the things you do are unconscious. You know what I mean? And a lot of the synchronicities and the best things that you just randomly, coincidentally walk into, it's because there is actually no fundamental boundaries between your body and the external world, because your body is actually embedded into the environment. Like your body actually is technically the environment. And so when you listen to your body, that can even tell you maybe you love a girl before you know you love her. You love at first sight. It's like you see your whole future there, and that is a weird thing with memory, of the bottom up processes of memory and resonance, where you actually, a lot of those things are actually intuiting things from the future, from resonance. So like, use that little thing like a magical power. Respect it. It's okay. Don't. If you love God, never be ashamed to be naked. It's for the right intention. So and one day, if you keep exploring the world, you will get to a place where you understand what that is all about. You'll be like, oh, that's why that happened on that one specific day when there was, because maybe you just remember one time, that event when I got a boner that specific time, that was very stressful. I don't know why that happened. One day you realize that it's some sort of magical mutant power that you have. It's like, I get boners 5 seconds before lightning strikes. No, I'm kidding. It'll be actually much cooler than that. But anyways, so yeah, we're gonna meet my friend. I'll probably hop on later, talk more. So I'll probably be low. I'm probably gonna But anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. I really appreciate it. The questions, shorty. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes I just ran and I can't figure out why. Yeah. Don't worry, brother. You know what? It's me. Surprise! No, I'm kidding. No. But actually, there is a weird thing. I did make love to the earth, and so I am deeply connected to all sexual experiences.
You made love to the earth.
Yeah, like a couple times.
Okay, so that would be
like
on the
literally,
next.
I was like feeling the ground and then dreaming and like speaking to her.
Oh, okay. So that can be a next topic.
On next episode, we'll talk about how to fuck the earth and plant your seed amongst the stars. All right. I love you guys. You guys have a great evening. It's part of epigenetics. It's real.